My name's Adam Roach and I'm a member at the Bayswater Urban Fire Brigade. I have been a volunteer for 15 years now. This is my 15th year. So I signed up 2 days out of VCE, decided I wanted to be a fireman for the rest of my life. 15 years later, here we are. When I'm not volunteering, I am a school teacher by trade. I'm a secondary school teacher. Outside of that, just your general standard sort of bloke, I guess. I play sport, I go to the gym. That's really about it. My dad was a member of the SES for a number of years, like ever since I can remember. And it was just a bit of rivalry with Dad. I thought, he's doing something good for the community. I want to do something good for the community. He wore orange. I'm going to go wear black. So I joined the fire brigade instead. And sure enough, about 6 or 7 years ago now, he approached me and said, "Oh, maybe I was wrong all this time," and he's now a member at the fire brigade too. So in the initial training, you've got to do your minimum skills, which allows you to basically get onto the grass and scrub fires, bush fires, and things like that. And that was 6 months worth of training, sort of one night a week and a Sunday. So that was some pretty intense stuff. And then from there, you're allowed on the fire trucks and you continuation training. You build up your skills sort of gradually as you go. We do training every Tuesday night and every Sunday. We do sort of our stowage and vehicle maintenance and things like that. So that's the minimum expectation. Call outs are on top of that, of course. And then as sort of district and groups and different brigades run different courses, they put it out to everyone, and if you've got the extra time and you can do a course on a Thursday night or on a Saturday or something, you put your name down for it. And so at Bayswater, we're very sort of keyed into the local community. So obviously we turn out to fires and cats up trees, and I've been called out to a dog under a house and a bird stuck in a tree, of all things. We like to get out. We do a lot of school visits. We do a lot of community days. If a business is opening up, and they're having an open day or whatnot, they ask us if we'd like to bring the fire truck down. All the major fundraising things like Good Friday, Appeal and things like that, we like to get involved in. There's a lot of fitness type fundraising that goes along nowadays that the fire brigade gets involved in. We do the Metropole stair climb and the Eureka stair climb every year, so our members will fully kit it up. So you're looking at about 20 kilos of gear or thereabouts. On your back and up about 88 flights of stairs. It was my first call. I had just gotten my turnout status. I was happy as Larry. It was probably only a day and a half later, our first call came in. It was pouring rain, and I only had my wildfire uniform, which is a lightweight jacket and a lightweight pants, so not waterproof in any stretch of the imagination. So I put my turnout gear on. I was, bright and yellow because I hadn't seen any dirt yet, and ran out. The trucks were already gone, so I jumped in my car and turned out, which I later found out you weren't meant to do. And I stood on the side of the road at the motor vehicle accident, and the officer in charge goes, "Can you direct traffic for me?" And I'm like, "Sure, no worries, I'll direct traffic like you've never seen." And an hour and a half later, when I'm sopping wet and miserable as anything, he comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, do you want a hot drink?" I can still taste that coffee. It was the most amazing coffee I've ever had. So that was my first ever turnout. You'll always remember your first deceased body, unfortunately. It's the nature of the beast. I remember the first person I pulled out of a house fire didn't make it. So that'll forever stick with me. But you do remember the good calls as well. I mentioned before, I got called to was a dog stuck under a house, and we arrived on scene, and the owner said, the dog's trapped under somehow. She won't come out. And we said, okay, where's the manhole? And we found the manhole, and I reckon it would have been about 30 centimetres off the ground. And I'm like, how the hell are we going to get in here? So I looked at the other crew, and there's myself, and I'm 6 foot, but I was kind of skinny back then. There was the officer in charge, and he was probably about 120 kilo. There was the bloke who was driving the truck. He was about 100 kilo. And then there was the bloke sitting next to me, and he would have been about 140 kilos. So if anyone who was going to climb under the house, unfortunately, it was going to be me. So I had to take all my turnout gear off and started sort of army crawling under the house, basically, over the ducted heating vents and in between the wires. And right smack bang in the middle of the house, there was the dog, and his collar was trapped up in and amongst some electrical wires and whatnot. So had to call out for the boss to isolate the power just in case and whatnot. Got close enough. I was a bit worried. I got bit by a dog when I was a kid, so I was a bit worried this dog might bite me because apparently he'd been under there for about a day. So I got up to him and he was sort of whimpering and whatnot, and I managed to unhook him and he was gone. Straight outside, ran and got something to eat, and it took me another probably 25 minutes to crawl backward out from under the house. But when I finally got my head out, there was the dog ready to lick my face clean. I thought, yeah, that was pretty cool. So, you know, you get the bad stories, but then you get some really good ones as well. So.